Hey everyone, just doing a little jam video here today. Yeah, that looks better. Doing a little jam video today. Got the pickup upgrades and stuff, and the 7-string Jackson and all that. I was doing some practicing and yeah, just kind of working on some stuff. We're finishing review and edits of the Aposticum full-length album soon, next weekend, and then sending it off to mix master and stuff. Just, you know, rehearsing those songs and stuff, because it's one of the projects, one of the few projects I'm in that actually plays live and stuff. So yeah, just practicing. But like, I just wanted to kind of do a video, just kind of noodling around and jamming and stuff, but also kind of talk about like some songwriting elements and stuff, because I don't talk about that too often. But like, there's parts in certain songs, and I helped this first full-length album. I helped write a good portion of it. The first 3 songs were pretty much written by the frontman Jake, and then I came on board and kind of helped him finish those songs, and then we wrote the other 4 together. So a lot of contribution on my part with that and everything. And yeah, just there's some fun riffs, so I'll just play a couple, because like from songwriting elements and like understanding that, especially with like metal and things like that, depending on the style that you're playing and all that, you know, it really varies. But like, there's some that are just like super cool, catchy riffs and stuff. And a lot of the songs, and I like to write stuff like with the Eldarion project too, and some other ones that like a lot of earworm riffs and hook riffs and stuff, making them fit together and things like that. Like, that's a really fun process to write. So I'll just play a couple of things. I mean, this Aposticum is black and death metal, so there's black metal elements, there's death metal elements, right? So you can kind of meld it to various things. So this is one of the tracks off of, or this is a riff off of our track A Death Descent Demise. Yeah, it's just a fun one, so I'll play it for you here real quick. See if you can hear that. You can probably hear that. It's like a... I really enjoy that riff, and I wrote that one. Yeah, it's just fun, just a hook riff, and it's got groove to it. You hear the death metal elements, especially with like the super death metal, you know, just like nasty death metal. And the other part, you know, is very much more black in influence, with a little bit of that, you know, death sprinkled on top, you know, very Belphegor, very Vader, the good era of Behemoth, you know, stuff like that. Like, obviously those are some big influences for the project, apart from, you know, Morbid Angel and bands like that. So that's one of those riffs I really like quite a bit. I had another one in mind, and now I'm brain farting like which one it is. Yeah, just like stuff like that. Oh, yeah, so in the last track, The End of All to Come, for this upcoming album's like a... That's a fun one. So like riffs like that with kind of that, again, that fusion hook. They hook, you know, they groove. There's some groove there, like with that one, for example, but like just hook. They just hook, and you get those death metal elements, along with, you know, obvious black metal elements and stuff too. And like that fusion of writing is some of my favorite, apart from like with Eldarion, much more folky stuff. A lot of folk and traditional elements on top of, you know, being just epic symphonic black metal basically, but with a much cleaner production. Like stuff like that is just really fun to do. I really like writing stuff like that. Just nasty riffs. And there's stuff like that obviously throughout the entire Aposticum album, and other stuff that I've worked on too and stuff in the past, and just things like that. Like I really just enjoy that kind of stuff. And you can do all kinds of stuff with fusing that writing together. Like I'll noodle just a little bit here just to give you some ideas. Getting that fusion of elements, you know, that was just off the top of my head, kind of noodling, you know, just like stuff like that. I really enjoy doing stuff like that, and you just that heavy punishing, you know, and then more of that high end black metal element with it too and stuff. 7-string Jackson. I'm tuned in oh my god, A sharp. It would be B flat, same tuning. Yeah, stuff like that. You know, of course I love, you know, writing and playing slam, you know, slamming brutal death metal and brutal death metal too, you know. There's so many different ways to skin that cat too, which is obviously different styles of death metal fused together and things like that, but you've got fast bits and then you've got these slow, just slammy, groovy bits, and there's a lot of ways to skin that cat with that writing process and everything, but some of my favorite styles of things to do are a lot of 4-fret interval hammer-offs, and then getting some tremolo riff in there, and then going into just punchy, punishing chords, whether they're barred chords, and again, this is more of a standard tuning, not drop or anything, barred chords or power chords, you know, whatever it is, so, you know. You know, stuff like that. That fusion of like tremolo, trem stuff, and obviously some good variation with it, you know. You know, stuff like that, you know, just making it fucking crunchy and nasty, you know. dash that filth on there, you know. Again, like that one riff that's in the Aposticum song. That is just some old school death metal, just nastiness, you know. Love that kind of stuff, because, like, you know, I grew up listening to all kinds of stuff, but like hearing Grave and Unleashed and then, you know, and Morbid Angel and Incantation and, you know, all that goodness really brought a lot of inspiration. And the OSDM revival scene that's going on right now, there's so many good bands, whether it's Ossuary, Flesh Rot, Gutter Instinct, you know, whoever. A lot of really sick old school death metal revival bands. Blood Incantation, their new album is really psychedelic and it's a great album. They're a little bit older stuff, like Two Mold, like there a lot of really good bands with that kind of stuff too. So, you know, get creative with your writing, because, you know, sticking within one certain genre, okay, cool, you know, but there's so much out there, there's so much music out there. You do have to try and make a uniqueness to it, a uniquity with it, unless you're trying to be completely cookie cutter, in which case, you know, go for it. But adding some personality, some character, your signature kind of style and uniquity and uniqueness to it is really good, and I recommend that. I always suggest and recommend that people do that, you know. You know, and I love dissonance stuff too. I like all kinds of good stuff. One of the quintessential black metal chords. Yeah, and you can kind of see, like, you start with a riff and then you develop it more and get a signature style into it, and you contort it and meld it, you know, because you start with a root chord riff structure principle and then you build on it. That's one of the ways that I do a lot of songwriting, and just keep melding it like clay. Keep molding it until you've got something that you really like, and just sounds sick, you know. So, like, that kind of stuff, and of course doing triplets and stuff like that. I love that stuff. So, yeah, just practicing noodling about. Figured I'd make a video for this week and just kind of like some of my mindset and like kind of how I end up writing things sometimes and stuff, and kind of melding a signature style of things. And yeah, it's fun. So pick up your instruments and do the things. Have fun, you know, and get creative. And people who aren't musically inclined, you can learn, but other hobbies as well. Pick them up, do your stuff, whatever you enjoy or something you think you might enjoy, dive into it. Yeah, so that's it from me. Alright, have a good week, y'all. Metal up.